All right, everybody, welcome back to another video here on Financial Friends. I want to say thank you for joining this video. Thank you for joining Financial Friends. If you're not already a part of Financial Friends, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Join the friend group. Hit the like button as well if you're excited for this video. And let's go ahead and get into the stocks that I am most excited to watch throughout 2022. Small disclaimer here. I do not do all of the intensive research possible. These are more so companies that I am excited to kind of watch and see how they develop kind of through the business world, and as kind of a side thing, there are also stocks, some of them that I invest in, others that I do not. So I have 5 picks for individual companies and 1 ETF, but without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the first one, and that is going to be SoFi. I am very excited to watch and see what SoFi does. Now, again, another disclaimer, I own SoFi stock personally. I also use the platform to invest in. But what that does allow me to do is get a first-hand experience on how the platform actually works. So SoFi is an all-in-one finance app, and this is something that excites me. I think that as people continue this push, and it is inevitable that over time people will go from brick and mortar locations to individual places online. They will no longer go in person, basically no matter what. Brick and mortar banks, I think at some point will be done, especially when money moves from physical paper to just everything digital. It is no longer going to be brick and mortar. However, the same thing applies to what happens now in the brick and mortar world. Some people enjoy kind of putting their money in different places at different institutions, whether that be for safety reasons, security reasons, whatever it might be. But there are also people that like everything under one place. And not only does SoFi have everything that you'll need banking-wise, and I think especially with the banking charter hopefully coming, they're going to have everything banking-wise. They also have investing. They have credit card. Currently they have a debit card with like a spending/saving hybrid account. They have it all. They have cryptocurrency, and I think that they're just going down the bullet points, I think that their tech focus is really what's going to set them apart from some of these other ones or these other applications that are very narrow-minded. Yes, they're tech-focused, but they're not an all-in-one platform that's very tech-focused. They also do lending. You name it, they have it. And I think that the emphasis on crypto is something that's very important too. A lot of these other investing apps are either strictly stocks or they have a small little, emphasis on cryptocurrency. SoFi has cryptocurrency. It doesn't have wallets yet. It doesn't have all the extras, but Anthony Noto is a huge fan of it. And when your CEO of your company really enjoys cryptocurrency, I think that they're going to continue to push the envelope everywhere they can. They also have some very innovative things in the stock and investing world, like IPO investing and robo-advising and retirement accounts, all under one hood. So what does that say about crypto? It says they're not just going to be a one-trick pony. They're going to try and kind of be the jack of all trades. They're going to include a little bit of everything. I'm very excited to watch the stock grow and the company grow over the coming years, but really in 2022, I think there can be a big push. There's a lot more chatter and a lot more talk about SoFi right now. I actually invested back when it was IPOE, and then that SPAC merged into SoFi. So I was in it from the very beginning. I was excited from the very beginning, and I am still excited and picking up shares as time goes on. To touch on the last point a little bit more, Anthony Noto and his resume, I think that I listen to the man speak every once in a while. I think he is very, very intelligent. Worked at Twitter, worked at Goldman Sachs, worked with the NFL. So he's been around, and he kind of has all the little things that you might need in a CEO. He understands the social aspect in terms of Twitter. He understands the financial aspect. I mean, he works for SoFi currently, he's the CEO, but he also worked for Goldman Sachs, and he also understands kind of the advertising and sports world from the NFL, and you can see that's very apparent. SoFi has a stadium in Los Angeles. The Olympics are going to be there, or the opening ceremony of the Olympics. The big game is going to be there. So I'm very, very excited to see what SoFi does. They're getting a ton of impressions. They have commercials. They have the stadium. They have YouTubers like Mr. Beast and Dude Perfect, filming there. I'm very excited, to say the least. A whole video will be coming out about SoFi soon, I promise. I'm very excited about this one. Next up here, and more one that I'm going to be a little bit more eager to just kind of keep an eye on and watch, is Subs, the streaming ETF. Obviously, you can see top holdings: Disney, Netflix, Spotify, Roku. the push from traditional TV over to streaming is here. And with, Disney Plus and Netflix, they're creating their own shows. They're really building out their own platforms. I'm just interested to see how the push continues to happen. I can already see myself wanting these Roku TVs. My girlfriend has one. Some friends have one. So I think that, with streaming and people just being like, oh, I'll just watch on YouTube or YouTube TV or, Netflix, or I'll watch Apple TV, and they have it all on Roku, and then they could pair that with like a Sling or something else, another alternative to these big companies like AT&T and Verizon and Xfinity. I think that's going to be very interesting moving forward. Now, things to point out in specific about subs, it has been red, down bad. The company, or the stock, is down bad. Obviously, Disney being its top holding, a top holding of myself as well, it's been red. It just has been very red. It's been not good. So it has exposure to stocks I like. That's why the red doesn't really faze me. These are companies that are going to continue to be around for a long time. Roku, Disney, they've been around, but Netflix, Spotify, and then they also do have exposure. It's not in this top 10 here, to companies like Google, Amazon, and Apple for their, streaming services respectively. So very interesting ETF. I want to continue to drop my average cost, but I'm very cautious. Again, these are stocks I'm excited to watch. I kind of want to watch over 2022, see what happens. I don't own a ton of it. I do own some of it. But we're just going to sit back. We're going to watch. We're going to see how this battle between, massive companies and a little bit, still massive companies, but the new frontier, legacy and new frontier, kind of how that clashes and how that works together. All right, next one here. I want to make sure I get my little plug in. If you want to follow me on Twitter at FinFriendsPod, go ahead and do so. But we're going to be talking about Twitter. Why is it on this list? Well, I took a little bit of interest in Twitter. I've been pushing at FinFriendsPod on Twitter. I've been using it a ton, and I'm very, very active on there all of the time, always tweeting, always, scrolling through. And with Jack Dorsey being gone, I want to see what the company can do over 2022. Seems to be like he was a little bit of a hindrance or just not as focused on it. Obviously, he's huge now with Block or Square. Very focused in the cryptocurrency, space, Bitcoin in specific. That's why I put crypto integration here, because there was a little bit of that happening while he was there. Was that his doing and his doing only? Was that the company's kind of view and focus, and was that what they were into? I'm not 100% sure. I know that he had kind of been breeding this next CEO. The new CEO now has been at the company for a while. He understands what Twitter is about, and I have down here the thoughts focus. It really is a news and thought-focused social platform, right? It's not all about visuals. It's not about entertainment and long-form content like potentially YouTube. It's not short, quick, snappy stuff like TikTok. It's very thought-focused, and so that's something that interests me, and thus interests me in the stock and the company as a whole. So I want to see how they continue to develop this. Spaces is something that's very interesting. Took exactly what Clubhouse was doing and threw it over onto Twitter. I think that is fantastic. In terms of the monetization, I know I have that bullet point here as well. They have ticketed spaces where you can sell these tickets to, say, limited events and stuff. As crypto blows up, it becomes huge on Twitter. Everyone's sharing their information and stuff like that on Twitter. I'm not sure where else, though, that they can take this monetization. Obviously, again, going back to the crypto integration, they have, crypto being able to be sent to people. Is that going to continue to develop? Are they allowing some form of, I know they have the tipping, which is monetization, but I want to see more what they can do with monetization. They also have super follows, which kind of allows you to support a creator, kind of like you can do here on YouTube with, a premium follow or subscription to someone. I'm not exactly sure how YouTube supporter, I don't know exactly what it is called, but they kind of have that same sort of donation style thing going on. I'm not exactly sure. It's not pulling in creators. YouTube draws creators. Instagram draws creators. TikTok draws in these people who want to create brands and platforms. And Twitter is more something where these creators just share their opinion and they don't really build anything on top of it. I'm in the whole money and FinTwit space. There's a lot of affiliates and different things going on there, but not a true way to become a creator on Twitter and really monetize that. So let's see how this moves forward. I'm hoping there can be some push towards that. Obviously, the creator economy is a massive thing right now. Everybody wants to be a YouTuber, a TikToker, an Instagrammer, a Snapchatter, whatever. So how can they be a Twitterer? I think that is going to be something that if they can work on, if they can develop, if they can continue to grow spaces, if, Jack Dorsey no longer being, CEO of the company is a beneficial thing, how does that affect stock price? How does that affect the company over 2022? Next up here is Rivian. Now, why is Rivian on the list? A lot of people very skeptical of Rivian. They haven't produced any vehicles or anything really yet. Well, I got in at a good price. So I was actually able to use SoFi's IPO feature to get access to Rivian stock at, I think it was $78 a share. I only picked up, I think, 3 shares. So not too much stake in the company, but nonetheless, just a way to track the company, continue to see how they're doing. So you see here, very bland on the bullet point. What news, what plans, how earnings are, how those earnings go, which are really going to be losings because the company is going to continue to lose money over 2022, and I know that. I also am not sure what news they have, what plans will come out, what sort of developments does the company have coming down the pipeline. They obviously have a couple of vehicles. Can they grow them at scale? Can they produce them at scale? Is there going to be continued demand for them? How are they going to work in the field? How are these cars going to operate on the road? Are people going to like them? Are they going to be able to compete with Tesla? There is a ton of questions surrounding this company. That's why I want to watch it over 2022. It's going to be a very interesting year, especially with electric vehicles being the absolute focus of this sort of automobile industry. You have companies like legacy companies like Ford and GM just pumping out, hey, we got the electric vehicles, we have this, we have that, F-150 Lightning, Mach-E, all this stuff. I think it's fantastic. I think the Mach-E and the Ford Lightning, or the F-150 Lightning, fantastic for Ford. I think Ford's going to grab a huge chunk of the EV market personally. How does Rivian fit into that, especially with Ford at one point backing them, with Amazon backing Rivian? Are they going to be able to get these vehicles out? I know it seems like with Rivian, all I'm doing is asking questions, but to be quite honest with you, that's about where I am with this company right now. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure how much they're going to lose. I'm not sure if they're going to lose more than expected, less than expected, or what sort of new vehicles or plans are they going to unleash. Are they going to become a Tesla where they're like, hey, we have all these cars, but we don't know how to produce them yet? Or no shot at Tesla. That means Cybertruck, Roadster. It's kind of what they do. But Tesla also produces on the vehicle front. All their staple vehicles, all the model vehicles, they're selling them and they're producing them and they're shipping them out to actual people who are actually driving them on the road, as well as their charging network. So how does Rivian fit into all this? I don't know. That's why I'm excited to watch it. Lastly here, we do have Johnson & Johnson. Oh, I just also want to be clear before I move on. I do not own any Twitter stock. I've been watching it, but I do not own any. I do own, as I mentioned, a couple shares of Rivian. I also own Johnson & Johnson, and it is one of my absolute favorite stocks. It embodies everything that I love about a stock. The consumer aspect, the medical aspect, the pharmaceutical aspect, meaning they're well diversified across, like the medical space, as well as like the sort of new pushing technology edge of pharmaceuticals, as well as the things that we go into the store and just pick up on a day-to-day basis, like Neutrogena or these other, Tylenol, Motrin, those sort of things. So it's been one of my favorite companies, but that whole conglomerate, big, all one thing, it has to come to an end. And they are splitting. And I say this like I'm sad. However, the market likes this. It actually reacted to it in a positive manner. When the news came out that the split was happening, it went up. Stock goes up when news comes out. So not always, obviously, just in terms of this news. You can see here I have the little split. That is because the consumer healthcare side, so again, those companies and those things that you're purchasing in store, those are going to become one thing. Pharmaceuticals and health or medical devices are going to become another entity. So there's going to be one company going into two companies. I have questions about this. How does this affect the price of each of these stocks? And I mean that in terms of the consumer healthcare side is not performing as well as the medical devices and the pharmaceuticals. That's the kind of, at least to my knowledge, that is the reason for this little breakup, this split. They want to be able to focus on each one individually, and the margins and the percent growth on the medical device and the pharmaceutical side was a lot higher than on the consumer healthcare side. So kind of splitting the two up, allowing them to grow separately, is clearly what Johnson & Johnson and the higher ups there felt would be the best plan. But how does this affect each business, right? Is this consumer healthcare side really going to explode now because they're able to focus, everyone who's there is able to focus all their energy on that entity, and then the other entity will also get all its focus, and as a result, both will perform better? I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to continue to buy into J&J, consistently throughout my dividend portfolio over the course of the year until the split. Not 100% sure when the split is happening. I did hear news about it. I'm not going to lie, completely forgot exactly when that's going to be happening. I'll make sure to 100%, get that information. But again, I'm very interested. I'm very intrigued to see how all this is going. So really, that was the 5 stocks here. Just going back up, we do have Johnson & Johnson, Rivian, Twitter, the Subs Streaming ETF, and SoFi. So these are the stocks that I am excited to watch throughout 2022. I hope that you're excited to watch them with me, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and were able to either get some ideas of some companies to watch as well, or just found some entertainment value and information throughout this video. So with everything being said in this video, if you did enjoy, go ahead, hit that like button. If you want to join the friend group, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be a part of the friend group that knows when a video is posted, hit the bell right beside the subscription button as well. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for enjoying, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.